Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I want to start off with a quick dad joke. Why did the iPhone bring a controller to the party? Because it knew what would happen if things got out of hand. Get it? Controller, you put it in your hand. It's a stretch, but I had more of a joke, but I'm going to leave it at that. In any case, if you like everything Apple, or even if you like licking deodorant, hey, I don't judge. You do you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You'll enjoy QC Dads. It's a fun, very enjoyable channel, and you won't be disappointed. So I got my Gamebaby in the mail, I would say maybe a couple weeks ago. I did the early pre-order, so I got mine pretty quick. So was super excited about it, just kind of play a lot of those retro games. And at the end of the day, before I get into the details, I actually enjoy using the Gamebaby controller. Off the bat, I will say the buttons, they feel really good. The directional pad, all the buttons have really good feedback. You got your classic A and B button, as well as the start and select button. There is a menu button, which is something that is associated with the Delta emulator, so that's definitely needed. And then there's this forward button that I have no idea what it's for, but it's there. Now, when I'm using the Gamebaby, I normally just leave the top portion off. I like to kind of slide it on and off. I don't plan on using this as my main case, but when I do use it, I just keep the bottom portion on, which makes it really easy to get my gameplay on with those retro games. I personally prefer a leather case, or a case that's somewhat exposed, where the sides are exposed, kind of raw, right? Like to be able to touch that titanium. But yeah, definitely the Gamebaby is not, it wouldn't be a main case for me to kind of walk around with on a day-to-day basis, particularly because it doesn't have MagSafe. That's probably the biggest reason, but again, I do love a nice case in the hand, and I would say with the Gamebaby, this is not a case that I would like to use on a day-to-day basis. It's a pretty good-looking case, though. I like the different colors, but just not my cup of tea when it comes to the feel of the case itself. But yeah, overall, the Gamebaby, it has like this nice matte finish. If I had to say anything about the look of this case, the matte finish is very nice. So not a big fan of super shiny cases, but this does deliver with that nice matte finish. Yeah, so when I got this case in hand, it really made me think of my Backbone, which I'll be honest, I paid a lot more for. I will say the Backbone, I kind of like a little bit more because I don't have to take my main case off. So that's one huge benefit of the Backbone over this case. But this case kind of definitely has that retro feel going to it, which is kind of cool, and it just kind of is somewhat reminiscent to that Game Boy from back in the day. But definitely something I did think about the Backbone, which I actually paid a lot more for compared to this case. I got this on a early pre-order, so I think I paid about like $25 for this one. But on, I think Bitmore's website, I think the regular price is about $40, which is not bad. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this on Amazon sometime soon. And then obviously if I do see it on Amazon, I'll leave a link below for you guys if you want to pick this pretty cool game controller up. All right, so setup was pretty easy. I went into the Bitmode Labs, not the Bitmore, I think I said Bitmore a little bit earlier, website to download the skin. So, all the buttons from the gamepad case align properly. And, I have no complaints. It was very straightforward in terms of setting up the skin so I can use with the Gamebaby. Now, one issue I have, not a deal breaker, but the case itself, when you kind of flip it around, has somewhat like sharp edges. Not like super sharp, but definitely not super comfortable. So again, not a deal breaker, but if you're playing games for a long period of time, you're definitely going to feel a small level of discomfort. I wish they kind of smooth that portion out a little bit, so it feels a little bit better in the hand. But overall, definitely not a deal breaker. On the back of the case itself, it does have writing. Let's retrieve the joy in gadgets, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, so the power buttons and the volume controls and even the action button, they're super responsive. I will say that the camera button is deeply recessed into the actual case itself, so doesn't really work in terms of swiping back and forth. So that is a bit of a negative of this case itself if you're someone who uses the camera control a lot. Now, one thing I noticed, and I kind of noticed this with, I think I was playing Mike Tyson Punch-Out, is the start and select button don't always function properly. But I don't think it's a fault of the controller itself. It's probably more of the game itself that's associated with the Delta emulator. So just kind of keep that in mind. You may find some games where the buttons don't function properly or do what they say they should do. So you may find yourself having to slide the actual case off to perform certain actions. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. Yeah, so that is my first impression of the Gamebaby controller. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to answer those questions. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if you like the video, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.